Friends, you may be wondering why I am standing next to two paint sprayers. Okay, we're having a shootout. We couldn't decide between the two. I favored this little cutie. She's lightweight. She's handheld. Next contender. Hang on to your hat. Okay. I feel like a pirate. This, my friends, is the one that Brian wanted. Now, Brian's had experience with this type of paint sprayer before because he painted our whole house. And this is the kind where you stick your little tube down into the 5-gallon bucket. By the way, super official review here. And then you're just holding the little wand, spraying it back and forth. And so he favored that one we borrowed, but for the Casita, he's like, we just need to own one because we also have a bunch of painting projects we need to accomplish inside our main house. Also, we not only need to paint the outside of La Casita, but we also need to paint the inside of La Casita. And so a paint sprayer for us is worth the investment. And so we're gonna have a shootout. We're gonna document once and for all who was right, me or Brian. Are you ready? So we've got some pieces here. I'm regretting my decision. So there's this little canister guy, which is what you put your paint in. I feel like I'm gonna be refilling this every 3 seconds. Maybe this was a poor choice. I feel like this is maybe a smaller project thing. We're soldering on. Okay, so we've got this little guy and it goes in here. This is a little liner. And then we've got this funnely part. Okay, so this is your paint sprayer. It connects to your drill right here, okay? So that actually might be kind of heavy. So there's that part. And then we've got all these little bits and bobs which connect together to go into the drill bit part. So let's put this thing together and let's see how far we get. I just have a feeling, you guys, the Casita is big. This may be better for small projects. This may be better for like, we're painting furniture. We're painting a container that we don't like the color of. We're doing a small stain project. This might be the way to go. Place driver onto foot. All right, excellent. Step 1 achieved. I tell you what. Okay, that feels pretty good. Right now, the tip that I have in here is for paint, but it also comes with one for stain. So like, again, kind of a cool little doohickey. Next, we are filling our little reservoir. So insert 1 flex liner into the cup support. Firmly tighten the cup lid onto the cup. Make sure that this thing is tightened on. Insert the funnel into the cup lid. Twist to lock. Snap the strainer into the funnel so your paint the strainer to prevent paint from overflowing the cup. To ensure the gas inside the cup is lubricated by the factory. This lubrication should I use a seal liquid. All right, so here's, oh, it's got the same little connector deals. Okay, boom. Okay, perfect. So we've got the strainer. Okay, excellent. Looking at the description, it looks like this is for top mounting it. This is for like a tiny, tiny project. I don't think it's applicable here because La Casita is quite large. I have this guy assembled. I'm gonna put it aside. Next, I'm gonna unbox the other one and see what that process looks like. Okie dokie. Whoa. Okay, this is quite the contraption. Brian is being ridiculous right now. He's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, we have our hose. We've got our pump. Ooh, we do need an electrical cord for this. So literally throw this bad right in, connect it up, and away she goes. Okay. All right, I think we did it. So I need to get this sucker plugged in. This one goes into the water. Woo, that guy goes there. So they want you to prime this for 30 to 60 seconds. Check, check, done. Woof, okay, here we go. It's time to get real. Submerge suction tube into paint. Okay, paint sprayer with the drill. You know what's interesting? Already, I'm like, ooh, Nelly, I don't even have paint on this, and this is gonna be heavy. I would say this one is a little bit more labor intensive to set up. This was like stupid easy. At least it felt that way to me. Okay, time to get paint in on the action, and then we shall see how it goes. I think this is gonna be the winner because this is so much lighter versus this one, which is like, I'm gonna be really buff after this project. It's gonna be a workout. Obviously, pouring paint into here adds like a few extra minutes to your setup versus the little guy where you just like plop the hose in. So ease of filling with paint goes to the hose sprayer. So I just primed both, and I have an old piece of sheetrock that I was using just to like test out the paint to make sure it's flowing through before I start hitting the Casita. And it's like not even funny. It's not even funny. Like this one, you can feel the evenness of the pressure coming out of it versus the little guy. This guy right here already, this is a lot of weight to be lugging around. So therefore, I'm concerned that my spray is not gonna be very even. Also, my little squishy bag in there is already half freaking gone. All right, for the sake of this review and this video, I'm gonna go to the side of La Casita to still do a couple sprays. We're just gonna test it out, but I am gonna do it on the side so I don't have to look at any inconsistencies. I'm ready to be very safe. Okay, I did not like that. Be right back. Okay, it's not even a comparison. It's so stupid. Look at this. You can actually see here where like it's skipping, and maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe there's user error, but this is also 200 times lighter. The evenness of this coverage is crazy. And the fact that I wanted to keep going with it, like that just tells me it's a much better user experience. So I'd say, let's paint a Casita. So I've been going at it with this little guy on the back side and the far side. I've gotten most of that done, except for the tippy top, which I need to go back and do. Brian does not like to have idle hands. So he did this side and the bag is empty. So this is literally how much you can spray in like 3/4 of one of these bags. I will probably keep this and use it for small projects. I think that has a really good purpose. But this guy, I just like, it's just no comparison. This one is smoother, it's more even, it's easier. Like once you get this all hooked up, like she's ready to go. The only thing I will say is that when you were doing this kind of like the Magnum, you have to drag around both buckets for this to work. So that's where it's kind of a pain, but they do give you a 20-foot hose, and the Casita isn't very big. I mean, we're talking maybe the roof square footage is 120 square feet. So I can kind of wrap around both sides and only move this thing twice. Not bad. Looks really good. Do, 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 do. You're a very good supervisor, Brian. Very good supervisor. I prefer to take my tape off before my paint is totally dry because I've had the experience of my paint actually like it pulling a little bit when I remove the tape if I let it fully dry. And also, I'm impatient. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It looks really good. Okay, and also, up underneath, right in there is actually the soffit where we put the stained cedar. So that one, I feel like I'm gonna have to leave in place because if I get up there right now, I'm afraid I'm gonna hit the wet paint. So I'll just have to like kind of deal with those consequences as they come. But I at least wanted to get the door unveiled. And I think I'm gonna do the window too. Wow. I think what I'm gonna do with all of the trim pieces around is there's a little white piece of flashing at the top of each window and the top of the door frames. Instead of going dark all the way to the window frame, we're gonna do what we did on the house where we're gonna go for like a creamy white, something that's just gonna be like really soft and neutral. It's not gonna be this stark white of the window. It'll be kind of like a nice transition piece to it. I did play with color drenching the whole thing, but I don't think that's what I'm gonna do. Let me get a paint can for you and I'll tell you about the paint that we used. This is the same paint that we used on our house. It's Miller Paint Evolution. It's from their Northwest collection and it's called Ambiguous Black. You know, it's funny, we actually screwed up. We used a velvet finish on our main house. And then Brian went to go pick up paint and he totally forgot and grabbed satin. It's fine, no one's gonna die. But that's what we're like, hey, we've already got the paint sprayer, we're ready to go. We have rain all this week and I need to make sure that the temps for this Casita drying are above 50. You really don't wanna go below that, otherwise it's kind of a hot mess and your paint dries unevenly. And I think the trim color we're gonna use is called Greek Pebble. It's also a Miller paint, but I wanna test a couple swatches down here just to see how it shakes out. All right, friends, it's been a couple days since my Casita got a fresh coat of paint. It's looking so good. And I just want to recap really quickly a couple final thoughts because I've sat with them for a couple days. So here's the scoop. TrueCoat, 360, cordless connect. Waste of money. No, I mean like, if you need one, sure, I guess. If it were me, honestly, I would just save my $150 and I would invest in a beautiful paintbrush, maybe some high quality rollers and just hand paint. I actually love the process of hand painting. And so for me, something this small, it just simply doesn't make any sense. I also feel like my hand painting, I get better coverage. This, when it came out, it just kind of peppered out the paint and I wasn't happy with the finish that I was getting. Okay, here we are. This is the winner. This is the Magnum Project Painter Plus. You guys, what's going on with these names though? Like, why are you making it so difficult for me? For the sake of the shootout, for the sake of our bet, I am required by law to say, Brian was right. He made the proper choice. I will never doubt him when it comes to paint sprayers again. Is that satisfactory? Here is kind of like my thinking. Sometimes I want to choose the less expensive option because I think, well, I can make these things work. But at the end of the day, you absolutely 100% get what you pay for with this. A couple major call outs. Cleaning this up was just the same amount of work as the smaller one. It just was a little bit more cumbersome, but we have a deep tub in our laundry room, so it like wasn't a big deal. Also, using this was actually fun. I actually found myself wanting to keep going, spraying on the paint. You know what this actually reminded me of? This actually reminded me of when I used my pressure washer. Okay, hands up in the comments if you love a pressure washer. It is so satisfying, and I feel like a paint sprayer is like the cousin to a pressure washer. The paint, it just came out evenly and smooth. The coverage was impeccable. For us, it doesn't make sense to hire out a lot of painting projects because Brian and I are super able-bodied. I feel like I'm ready to start training my boys in painting. I think they're gonna be good, but I think I need a couple more years for them to build the patience. But we have a lot of things to paint, both inside the house and inside the casita. So investing in a paint sprayer is just like, it was so worth the investment for us when we know we're gonna use this on multiple projects throughout our home. Okay, you guys, that's it. That's the breakdown. I'm gonna leave all the links below. I'm gonna see you in the next one. And in the meantime, as always, say hello to your garden for me.